Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you today of why you're hitting walls in your life. Everyone has been going through things in their life, and you always wanted to do something, but seems like every time you're hitting a wall, you know, seems like, when you're trying to do something new, you're trying to change like a resolution because all of us do yearly resolutions at the beginning of the year. You started off, right, good, and then all of a sudden, bam, you stop or you're trying to change a bad habit and all of a sudden bam, you stop. Or you venture out, you say, you know what, I'm gonna try this for a little bit and see how it works. You want to change, maybe you're used to you're cussing a lot or whatever it may be, change your language, and all of a sudden bam, stop. Why do you think that, and what do you think that is? That is called a terror bearer. When we go out to start something, we want to start something new, we call it the X type. So let me explain that. There are three types. There is an X type, which is we call bondage, right? And there is a Y type, which we call reasoning. And then when both of those together is called chaotic. So what happens is we're stuck back there in what we call that bondage. We start out doing good, and we're getting something that's unfamiliar, bam, we go right back to bondage. Prime example, you go out, you want to buy a house, or you go out, you try to want to buy a brand new car, you got the money. You go out, you want to do a book club or start a club or get in a club. You got the ambition, but all of a sudden, bam, you go right back to bondage. I'm scared. What happens? Worry sits in, doubt, then fear sits in your subconscious mind because you get emotionally attached to it, and then all of a sudden anxiety sets in, right? And then what we call that X. We go right back to bondage. You're back in bondage. You're back in that old ways. You're back in those old environments. They're familiar environments. You're used to them, right? But nothing changes. Your life is still in the same position. You're still in the same place you was last year. Nothing changes. Then all of a sudden you get an idea. When you wake up one morning, or you have such of a great day, inspiration. You went to heard some motivational speaking. You went to a seminar. You talked to a friend or a family member. They gave you some encouraging, thoughts, or you heard a boost. You're like, you know what, I can do this. And then you have this idea in your mind, be like, you know what, I had this idea I've been thinking about for a while. I want to, see, can I maybe try it? And what do? That's called reasoning. You start reasoning with that idea, which is called X. You're reasoning with that idea. You're reasoning with that thought that, man, you know what? I can try. And then you begin to try, right? And then all of a sudden, you're terror bearing between yourself because what's happening, you're going back and forth. Well, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should. Hmm. I don't know. I'm scared. I got, I'm worried that if it doesn't work out, what would I do? Or I'm worrying if I put my investment money in this and I'll lose it all. And so what you're in your bondage and reasoning, which we call bondage X and we call reasoning Y. Both of them get together. You're in a chaotic environment. You're going back and forth. You're tearing in between what you call terror barrier. You're going back. Okay, I can do this. But what if this happened here? I can put that money and invest in, something I always wanted to do. I wanted to always open up my own business. I want to take a class to learn. But no, what if I get in that and I spend my money and I lose my money or I don't like it. I don't like the instructor. Fear, doubt, worry start sitting in, and then you get anxiety. And then from anxiety, you don't express anxiety, it depress. You suppress anxiety. Then from suppression, you get depression. From depression, you get dis-ease, and then that starts producing your results. What we call is an XY vibration. You tear it back and forth between an opportunity that you know you always wanted to do, but you're so comfortable going back to your familiarization zone that you just go back to doing what you always wanted to do. You can never get ahead in life like that. You can never get something that you always wanted to in life like that. You will never get ahead if you keep looking back in that back mirror, in that bondage scenario. What do you have to do? You have to put all that you can, all that you can to break what we call the terror barrier. It's called a terror barrier because right now, what happened? You're in bondage. You're in reasoning. You're going back and forth between, should I do this or should I not do it? And I'm going to answer that for you today. You should. Give it your best shot. Move forward. Move through that terror barrier. Make a decision today. Say, I'm going to do this. Regardless of what happened, I am going to do this. I am going to put my best foot forward. I am going to push through my fears, my doubts, my anxiety, which is called a terror barrier, and I'm going to push through this thing. And I'm going to give it my best shot. Then, when you do that, you will reach what we call freedom. And everything you need to get that task accomplished, to get that goal, to get whatever you was pushing to get whatever you wanted to try. When you push through that terror barrier, which that anxiety, that going back and forth, you will get everything you need in order to be successful. Everything you need at the right moment. And then once you get through that, you have to start all over again. And what I mean by start all over again, you still may feel some fear and doubt. You may still feel that, but at least you're going through it now. You made that step of faith. You stepped out on faith and stepped through that terror barrel. You stepped through that, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And now you're going with experience. Hey, you know what? I've been through this before. Okay, you know what? I just stepped through it. I stepped out on faith. So you start thinking about it. You know what? I can do this. And now you're over what we call to ignorance and knowledge. There are two things you have to you have when you step over that freedom. You're gonna come up against ignorance. What ignorance is that you step over in some unknown, right? What we call, and then you have knowledge, right? You don't want to stay in ignorance. You want to get in knowledge. What knowledge is you have to start learning. You have to start getting a book, reading, studying in order to continue to be successful. Because once you make that leap of faith, get through that terror barrier, now you're opening, okay, what do I do? Okay, this is what you do. Find a course, get some help, get a mentor, right? Get a coach, someone that can help you navigate through some of those unknowns. Study, right? And continue to believe in yourself with faith. The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that are not seen. You have to have faith in yourself, believe in yourself that you can do it, believe in yourself that it is possible. And then you will see a difference in your results. You will see a difference in what you do because now you're out of that bondage. You're out of reasoning, going back and forth. Should I do this or should I not? You're over into freedom. And from freedom, now you're into ignorance and knowledge. We're not going to stay ignorant. Ignorance just means that we're just going to sit there and do nothing. No, we're going to continue to work. Reach out for help. You would be surprised that the people that are successful, or there's help out there, but we just not willing to ask. I was listening to a what was it? Apple. I forgot his name. The great guy who built Apple, Steve Jobs. One of the things he said when he was, developing the Apple, He said one of the things he did, he said he reached out to, I think, a successful manufacturer or something like that. This was in his younger days when he was just starting out. And he said, listen, he said, I want to, do some intern with you. And so he got ready to do intern, and he asked the guy, listen, can I come and just do some intern with you? And the guy said, yeah, you can. The guy said, listen, he said, I'm surprised of you. And Steve Jobs said, what do you mean? The guy said, well, you're really probably the first or maybe the second person that really asked for some help. And this guy is a multi-billionaire guy who he was reaching out to. He said, listen, he said, help is here. He said, but people just don't want to ask. I don't know why. He said, I don't mind helping, of course. So that year, Steve Jobs got so much knowledge and wisdom from that manufacturing gentleman, and just being around him, doing that intern. And from that, he said that's how he was able to get where he's at today, because he stopped, asked for help, and because he didn't let fear and doubt get in his way. Or, what if this person say no? So what if they say no? Try again. There'd be 10 no's, but you eventually get that one yes. Colonel Sanders, when he made Kentucky Fried Chicken, the recipe, 134 times, I think, maybe a little bit less or more, but he got so many no's, and finally, that 135th one, and don't quote me on numbers, but I think somewhere around that, it was over 100 times that he got no's, and finally he got that one yes, and look at him now. Keep pushing, keep going, don't stop. Believe in yourself. Don't let the terror bearer of that bondage and that reasoning just give you a chaotic infection, an X and a Y factor where you're just stuck there. Push through that terror bearer. That terror bearer is just your fear and doubt and worry, anxiety. That's your terror bearer. Push through it. And I guarantee you, what everything you need will be given to you exactly as you need. And then don't stay there. I want you to start getting knowledge, studying, getting understanding. Okay? Asking, getting your coach, a mentor, someone that can help you continue to push through those terror bears and give you the life that you've always desired to live. Thank you. Have a good day.